understand. I don't understand. Oh, both of my eyes are red now. I don't understand why she's doing this. Why she's doing these videos to make people feel sorry for her. When she's making the situation like it is. She made it like that. She even wrote in her book that she was trying to get a job and they went up on her Section 8. Or they went up on her, yeah. The rent went up. And so she bounced. That's how she wound up losing her apartment. But I remember her when she was living in New Orleans telling me that she didn't like the neighbors kept making loud noises. I would be talking to her on the phone. I'd be thinking she cussing at me because she'll be cussing under her breath. And I'd be like, excuse me, who you talking to? And she'll be like, oh, I'm talking to those lousy neighbors driving by with their loud cars. But I don't hear nobody driving with their loud cars. We literally had snow. Some of it went down a little bit, but we trapped in this bitch. We cannot leave. Oh, the snow from over there that went melted. But we can't fucking leave. And that's that damn blinking lighthouse. We can't leave. People with kids, electricity went out in their house. Fortunately, the most I went through yesterday, and even I was going crazy, I didn't have phone service or internet yesterday. For the majority of yesterday. But there's people out here. What is that by the door? Oh, that's the way the light is. Boy, I was like, what the fuck by that door? Creeping me out. My eyes are creeping me out too. I don't know what that's about. But okay, here's the thing with Candy. She always grew up. I think I explained this in previous videos. Wanting to be independent. And wanting to... She wanted to work. At the time, I wasn't ready to work. I was still trying to be a kid. But I had to get a job because she was ready to get a job. She wanted to be independent and wash her own clothes. So guess what? I had to learn how to start washing my own clothes too. She wanted to learn how to wash dishes. Well, that was fun. In the beginning, it was fun washing dishes. Until I learned that with her, they had to be perfect. So through my foster mom and everything, and then learning that they had to actually be clean. You know, like when you're 6 years old and washing dishes, it's fun because you're playing with bubbles. But when you're 8, 9, and 10 and you're learning that, oh shit, you gotta really clean that shit. And then you're scrubbing pots and pans. That shit was hard. But a lot of stuff, it was like Candy called the shots growing up. Because whatever she wanted to do, whatever she told my foster mama she wanted to do, we had to do. So to me, I felt like I was forced to fucking grow up faster on that end. And now certain things that I did grow up faster on, she's upset about. But fuck, we're both disabled, can't work. But she refuses to accept that. She always wanted to be accepted as normal, which is understandable, but I'm just stating that this is Candy. That's why in certain videos she'll say she has a disability, but then she'll say she'll write off mental illness, but then she'll claim to have OCD and Tourette's. That's mental illness too, boo. But she won't claim what the doctors also have diagnosed her with. When she told me when she was in New York and she saw them doctors and they diagnosed her with schizophrenia or schizoaffective. And it does line up with my biological mama and some of my other siblings' behaviors. Even my brother Sean is bipolar and paranoid schizophrenic, and even my brother Derek is, and I believe my brother Pete as well. And she's somewhere along the lines of my brother Wyatt. That boy, he is able to maintain a job, Wyatt. Which I don't know what the deal is, because I don't know what Candy's situation is, why she is, because there is situations when you get SSI, Social Security, and you can go through like a voc rehab thing and still be able to work and get SSI. But for some reason, she's trying to cheat the system. She doesn't want to see their doctors, but she's still collecting their money. Why don't she just go to Social Security and say, hey, nothing's wrong with me. I don't want your money anymore. I can do this on my own if nothing is really wrong with her. Because after a while, they did it to my little brother before, where they told him nothing is wrong with you, and he wasn't going to see no doctors or nothing. Nothing was wrong with you. We cutting your shit off. And she can go that way and then get a job. And she's saying she's getting blacklisted. She's not getting blacklisted. When you go to get a job, they do a background check on you, and then they probably look and see that she's getting SSI and Social Security, and they probably find out why she's getting SSI and Social Security, in which there is a law that you're not supposed to discriminate. So that's wrong on their part, because you're not supposed to discriminate. But the thing is, she's probably in that bracket where she's fully disabled like I am. Let me try to go get a job right now. I am 100% fully disabled, total and permanently disabled. She won't tell you all that though. But she's in denial. She's in denial. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was first told, when I was in the military, and even when I got out, that I have post-traumatic stress disorder, I was in denial. When I was first told I got borderline personality disorder, I was in denial, because I still don't fully understand all of what borderline personality disorder is. And then when I started reading about fear of being alone, fear of abandonment, going on splurging, shopping sprees and shit, I was like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got that shit. So, um, I tell you where she's living in a fantasy world, cause she don't tell her followers. Well, the thing is, she did tell everybody that all the sicknesses I had, but still continues to blast me. But she ain't need to tell them what medicines I was on and all that kind of stuff. That's like breaking the HIPAA law and all that. She could just say I'm sick. She ain't need to say all the illnesses and stuff I had as breaking the HIPAA law. And that was before I found out that she was doing all this to me. That was months before I found out she was doing all this to me. But just trying to understand her myself. Like, why is she doing this? Like, she's saying it's raining down there. She wants to compare herself to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright left here to go down there to Florida because it was warmer and dry down there. And she's panicking about a little bit of rain and asking for money. And saying like don't nobody want to help her and all like that. Now she's saying it doesn't matter if you're a targeted individual or not, please help her. When before it was just targeted individuals, please help her. I'm tapped out myself. I ain't gonna lie, I've been stressing myself with issues. Like I said, it's expensive to live where I'm living at. But I guess it's the thing of trying to analyze her. You will not figure her out, but it's like the thing of it makes me sick to my stomach because, like I said, I stuck my neck out there to offer to help her. So yeah, I'm gonna keep whining about it as long as she keep doing this, cause it's like, what is she trying to do? What type of fuck shit is she on? Well, I already like did the video where she proved that, like, she's sitting there saying she don't nobody want to help her. But I already did that video where I mentioned that she said she don't like staying with people. She don't like staying with people. She don't like, and she was saying she don't like accepting money from people that she perceives of that's evil. So, in a sense, it's like I'm low-key kind of stressing of what else can I do to freaking help her? But at the same time, why the fuck is she doing this to me and the rest of the family? But then again, if she was to go stay with anybody else in the family, yeah, she gonna have to go. She gonna have to pay. I would say she could probably stay with my little brother Derek and them, but they got children, and what if she go to wind up thinking that one of the children want to harm her and wind up hurting the children? So that's not a good idea. I don't know where else. Her and the rest of the family members, they flat out just don't get along. They just flat out don't get along. It's not no thing where this gang stalking her and all. Like, well, I don't know what it is about. Like, my sister Ramona always want to keep up and know what we got going on just so they can go back and run and gossip and shit. But that's about it. If you want to call, I guess you can call that stalking. Um, I always want to keep up with what a nigga got going on, just so they can run back and talk and tell half truths and stuff like that. If she trying to make up with Ramona and go stay with Ramona, but she gonna have to pay. Um, I don't know what to tell her. I really don't. But as far as where she can go, where she could be in a stable environment and warm, it's just wherever she goes, it never works out for her. So what else can a person tell her? What advice can some? She's out of options. Cause if she gets into another Section 8 house, she's gonna lose that too. Thankfully, she's been doing good in this hotel she's been in now, where she hasn't been kicked out. Where she's gotten kicked out of other hotels before. But the level of mental health that she's on, see, she knows how far off mentally she is. Because even I have mental issues and I'm not on that strong shit. So where at is she mentally where she knows that if she gets on medication, they're gonna put her on that strong shit? And see, when I was in Atlanta, I already told what happened where that girl Toya was like, you can make somebody have psychosis. All you gotta do is catch them while they weak and vulnerable and keep them awake deliberately and confuse them. Sound familiar? Do that sound familiar? Candy's always complaining about sleep deprivation. So, judging by what they had, what she was deliberately doing to me, to where they diagnosed me temporarily for having psychosis. And they were treating me for psychosis at the time because she said you can make somebody have psychosis. And she was going around telling people I had psychosis just to make it look real. Psychosis with psychotic features. Sound familiar? So when you're constantly dealing with sleep deprivation, and I know about sleep deprivation because I deal with it every now and then. It's not fun. And you sit there and you see stuff that's not real. Or you think you hear a noise that's not there. Or you thinking that somebody's trying to hurt you and attack you. I've been there. And it gets pretty intense the longer you go without sleep. And it gets worse when you're smoking marijuana with it. And it gets worse when you're popping pills and drinking on top of it and dealing with psychological and physical abuse. That was what I went through with Toya. But she's just flat out just dealing with just derealization, depersonalization. But she's so bad off, she's not even aware of it. Nicki Minaj sacrificed her own father. You don't even know their relationship. I don't know, man. Uh, out of ideas. Because I was trying to get her to a place of making amends once again. For her to know that I wasn't out to hurt her. For her to come here where she had somewhere stable. And she would not be in this damn predicament. But she's too far gone. Now, when she goes to do those personal attacks at me, though, I'm in the pickle. I'm in the pickle, though. Because it's like trying not to take what she says personal, but then having to defend myself because people take her seriously and they believe that shit. Like, come on, man. We came out the same womb. I knew her all my life. I knew her longer than I knew anybody else because we came together in the same womb. So I knew her longer than I knew anybody else. But even with my brother Sean, when he was staying with me, and my foster stepdad was telling me like he know what he doing. He kinda y'all, and I was like, he don't know what he doing. And I caught on that little nigga knew what he was doing. I was like, oh hell no. And that's when I caught on. Even people with mental illnesses can play on your intelligence. I was like, man, that's fucked up. You can feel bad and feel sorry, but to a certain extent, sometimes they play on the fact that you feel bad for them. Because my brother Sean was fucking clean over us. I remember I took all his money and went and took it to the Social Security office and said I don't want to be his payee no more. And he just was there just staying for free. I was like, not Sean. Yeah, Sean. If you ever want to know what Sean look like, just put a beard on me and darken my skin. I look like Sean. I look like Sean a lot. Like Sean. Candy look like Mark. I look like a mixture of Derek and Sean. And when I'm smaller, put a do-rag on my head, even with me being big, if I put a do-rag on my head, you'll see I look like Wyatt though. But I look like a combination of like Wyatt, Derek, and Sean. I don't look like Derek no more. He even put on some weight. So, um, it made me sick to my stomach even more to hear that Sean is homeless than Candy. Because Candy knows how to bounce back on her feet. She's playing, y'all. I've seen Candy bounce back on her feet plenty of times. That's why I said, what is she trying to do? I bounce back on my feet. She always talk about this bachelor's degree, but I've seen Candy bounce back on her feet. And even though she has like a small amount of income, why don't she just try to like go into a senior living facility like she did when we was in New Orleans? Find one of those. She can find a workaround. Ooh, that tastes good. Rewick. So I don't know, man. I'm just confused. What is she trying to do, man? Yeah, I fell asleep early yesterday. Sleep throw it back off again. Feeling like I got carrying a bowling ball, like a bowling ball is trying to roll out of my head. Still sick. I know my doctors have told me just move on with my life and just let her be. As far as stressing and worrying about how to help her in her situation. I don't know, man. I don't know.